Lads and ladies, I'm going to get straight to the point here. The unbeaten run this season on MFL is already over. And not for a lack of trying to keep the unbeaten run going, mind. If we check out the full-time stats here, we can see I had 6 shots on target to their 1 shot on target while having a much higher XG, but shots on target and XG don't win matches of football, goals do, and unfortunately we came up short in that regard. Meanwhile, the Mamba Academy, they managed to convert their main chance of the game in the 19th minute. Our main man up top, the Lord and Saviour Stefan Hooper, then had numerous chances to pull us level, including in the 87th minute when he canned his shot off the bar before some heroic defending blocked his rebound. It just wasn't meant to be in this game, basically, and the unbeaten run of 3 games has come to an end. And things then went from bad to worst against Atoyo here, who, by the way, couldn't buy a win to save their lives in the opening 3 matches of the league. And here, after going 1-0 up, the opponents managed to come back and win thanks to some truly ferocious defending from Nicholson there. And, you know, a big part of our tactic right now is controlled possession, passing out from the back and so forth. But at the end of the day, centre-backs still have to remember to, you know, actually defend during matches of football. Like, that's their job. There's multiple aspects of a game of soccer to take into account here. And then in our follow-up game, we were going to face 18 HVR 84, who, after looking at their squad, I can confirm they easily have the best team in the league. Like look at this. No one's getting close to matching this team. It's genuinely a full squad of rare players in the Ice League, and I'm sat here solely with my Neville Conway, who broke into the rare tier only at the start of this campaign. So there's levels to this, and I'm on that level. It's not looking good, brother. It's not looking good, lads and ladies. Looking bad, okay? Which, by the way, whilst we're on the subject of progression, throughout the 2 weeks of this season so far, I've only had 5 players have a rating increase. It's 5. In 2 weeks with +1. I know some managers who have had players go up 5 ratings alone as an individual player this season already, and meanwhile I'm here with this pitiful progression in my team. Where is the content creator luck? This is outrageous. But going back to the footballing side of MFL, as mentioned, we've got a super tough game against 18 HVR 84 coming up, so I spoke with one of the MFL greats to get some advice on how to prepare for the game. There's someone I've played, or I'm playing, who just have so many rare...
Look at this.
Like,
that's not fair.
What? Like, fair, it's their money, their account, their team, their league, but I can't. What am I supposed to do? I'm playing them tonight. I'm going to get battered. I almost thought about dropping in a backup team. I genuinely almost thought about that because I thought, I'm going to lose anyway.
I would completely play a full B team.
So I took Amreezy's advice and played a full B team. I was expecting the worst. But what if I told you we managed to go out there and get a 0-0 draw? Because I'm not even joking. That's exactly what happened. Well, if football games lasted for 43 minutes, that would have been exactly what happened, that is. Because we did not draw 0-0. In fact, we conceded and went 1-0 down and then decided to do quite the opposite of drawing 0-0 and instead lose 8-0, which is a lot of goals, by the way, for anyone who's unclear on if 8 is a big number. It's, in fact, you know, 7 higher than 1 and at least 4 higher than 3. So it's a lot, okay? It's a bad loss. And I'm not saying I blame Amreezy for the loss. He was only trying to give me the best advice for the game, which he had available to him. But if I never have to speak to him ever again in my life, then that would be just fine with me. And you might be thinking, Royal Livy, these defeats were clearly your fault. I could do better than you in charge. And my answer to that would be, well, why don't you prove it, you piece of garbage? By joining the game! It's never too late to get involved, as even though the season has already started, you can still buy your club and enter the mid-season kickoff leagues, giving you ample time to scour the market and prepare your squad strong for next season with a bit of competitive gameplay in between. And if you are thinking about joining, it would resonate with my soul if you used my referral link in the description down below, where we both get an additional free common player after spending your first $25 on packs. And I'll see you out there on the MFL streets. Now, we had to bounce back in the following league game, or the campaign was at a risk of unraveling early doors right before our very eyes, and here we faced D10 Destroyers, where on the edge of halftime, Conway turned provider for the Lord and Saviour to put us 1-0 up, and quite frankly, that was all that was required. It was a terribly boring game, but sometimes boring is good, especially when you win 1-0, and comparing the team quality, I think this is again where we have to highlight my tactical nous as the manager here, outclassed in the overall department across most of the pitch, but the result came through nonetheless. And 1-0 away wins were clearly the closing theme of the day here, where once more we ran out on top, a goal to the good, thanks to Liam Holden providing a cool, calm and collected finish to get our form back on the right tracks. And on the subject of Liam Holden and our fullback setup in general, it's early into the season, but I already have to point out how adapting our tactics to include fullbacks in the attack going forward is already having its desired effect. We can see Holden here, who over the last 7 seasons had only ever scored 1 goal for the club. However, in 9 games this season since going aggressive and joining the attack, he has already chipped in with 3 goals. And I mean, yeah, it makes sense that unless you specifically tell a fullback to go forward, that they're probably going to be more inclined to sit back in defence. I mean, it's in the name, for God's sakes, left back. Back as in staying back and doing the defending. But I'm still glad to see these extra goals that can be all the difference, as we've seen last match with Holden's winner. It's a similar story for Cook on the opposite flank of the pitch. 1 goal in his last 7 seasons, and he has since tripled his tally for the club in only 10 games this campaign. Now, I'm not saying it's a managerial masterclass from me, but feel free to say it yourself. I don't mind. I'll take the compliment. And this resurgence in form has put us well and truly back in the mix for the final playoff spot this season in Ice League 14. I think it's fair to say, looking at the table, that the WAN Runners and HVR are in their own 2-horse title race, but the remaining teams here look to be battling out for third, and we're amongst them, so that's a pleasure to see. And you know, looking at those teams around me, I feel confident that despite perhaps having a weaker squad on paper, I truly have a shot of squeezing into that final playoff spot. We've already beat D10 and Jade Peacocks, who surround us in the table. And yes, well, we did lose to a Toil. That was a game that really could have gone either way on the day. It just wasn't meant to be for us that time. So all in all, I think we can compete with these teams and we can make the magic happen. And that's not including the fact that we also have a game in hand, which, you know, happens to be against the unbeaten WAN Runners, who are top of the league. So in goes the B team, because that clearly worked so well last time. Probably going to get absolutely battered there, but that's a problem you'll have to find out about next time. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you then, because I love you.